Why nobody is there? comunque Hello, Jeremy. Mary. How are you? Yeah, okay. I'm good, good. Uh, good. Yeah, open. Oh, can you hear me? Yes, okay. If possible, can you open your camera? Mm. All right, it's 45, 55. Okay, so we get started, okay? All right, let's get into the, whoever is here, we're going to get started. Uh, oh, okay, okay. No, no problem. If that is the case, it's okay. But we're going to get started with, remember, we were talking about yesterday the internet, and also we talk about the application software. So today we're going to move on to system software and the security. Okay, so let's move on to here. Okay, this is what I closed it. No, okay, it is open. Now let's see. Assign modules. Okay, and then week 1, 2, 3 we finished. And let me see, did anyone submitted the paper? No. All right, so system software. Okay, so in the system software, um, mm, we're going to move on to yes, system software, SIMnet. And in the system software, there are 7 topics are there. That is operating systems. Let me share the screen first. Okay. Okay, and then let me share the screen. Okay, and then that one is here. Yes, application window. I think, yeah, you all can see my screen now, right? Okay, so in today's lesson, we're going to talk about the operating systems, server operating systems, desktop operating systems, mobile operating systems, and utilities part 1, utilities part 2, and then file management. And just for practice, I did all this, so we're going to work on this today, and then we're going to do about the security. So let's look at first the operating systems. Yes, operating system. There is something who is saying some words about the chat. Okay, here. 1 second. Okay, I'm here now. I do. Okay, Melissa is here. All right. Okay. 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 Move this somewhere here so we can. Okay. I'm going to share that. No, 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 no. Okay. All right. Yes, the operating system. The purpose of an operating system is to manage the flow of data between hardware components and allow the user to communicate with computer. I mean, see, without the operating system, the hardware or the computer is just a box. I mean, it's just, we're not going to do anything. I mean, we need the software, and to run the software, we need the operating system. So, is to manage the flow of data between hardware component and allow the user to communicate with computer. It also supports all the other softwares installed in that computer. This is why the operating system must be loaded before any other software during the computer startup or boot process. So that's what the first thing is. We have to have operating system. To better illustrate the function of an operating system, imagine a situation where you need to copy an image from a web page and save it to your hard drive. Typically, this operation only requires one or two simple clicks of your pointing device. However, behind the scene, the operating system has to manage many components and the resources. So, first, it has to manage your connection to the internet. Next, it must support the software we use, the browser website. Lastly, it has to interpret your clicks and ensure that it creates a perfect copy of the image on the hard drive. It does not always get noticed, but operating system is performing countless services in the background. I mean, like it's going to millions of operations in a second it's going to do. And that allows the users and application to complete their task. Let us now look at some key concepts and the features related to operating system. And here, the main the concept and the features are compatibility, GUI, that is the graphical user interface. We say sometimes GUI application, multitasking, and 32 versus 64-bit processors. Those are the processors, and then the device drivers. So first look at what is the compatibility. Because all softwares run on the top of operating system, each has to be programmed to work with a specific operating system. If, for example, you buy accounting software, I mean, like we did some of the accounting software and the HR software, Quicken Note in the last class, yesterday's class. So that's how the accounting software for Windows-based Dell laptop. It is unlikely to work on your Mac computer. However, it will work just fine on your HP desktop computer because it too runs Windows. So some of the softwares runs on the Windows, and then computers that have the same operating system are said to be compatible with each other because they can support the same software. And then GUI or GUI applications are you are generally interact with the computer using various mouse operations and hand gestures. So sometimes those who have a touch screen, this is because modern operating systems have a graphical user interface. And see, olden computers were not that graphical users, but the text. But nowadays, all are GUI applications, allowing user to communicate via graphical elements on the screen. GUI elements include objects such as Windows icon, menus, and buttons, radio buttons. This is a contrast to the computer that we use, command line interface. Which requires users to memorize and type a series of commands. For home users, this old type of interface was phased over 20 years ago. And we used to do, all the way in 1990s or 95s, we used to command line interface for everything. We have to type the command. But now, because of the GUI application, all those we can do. And then next is the multitasking. The ability to run the multiple programs at the same time is known as multitasking. A modern operating system will, for example, allow you to work on a document in one window while researching the information online in another. So that's what the multitasking, like just now we are doing. In one we are opening the canvas, and in the one other window we're running our Zoom meeting. So that's what the multitasking. And 32-bit versus 64-bit. So in the last class I talked about the old computers were like most of them they started with 8-bit, then the 32-bit, and now most of them are 64-bit. uh, binary numbers. So you may encounter two versions of the same operating system that differ only in their bit numbers. A bit refers to zeros and ones. That's what I was saying about the binary system that represent the data in the most fundamental form. A 32-bit operating system is intended to work with older 32-bit processor, which can only handle 4 gigabyte. GB is the gigabyte of RAM. The newer processors are 64-bit, making them more powerful and capable of supporting much more random access memory, RAM. The 64-bit operating systems are created to work with these types of processors, which are quite prevalent to the today's computer. Now, device drivers, operating systems communicate with most hardware component using device drivers. So we need the driver. That means these programs, which are usually downloaded and installed, automatically instruct the operating system how to use or drive a newly installed device. All right, now let me try, and then okay, I think almost everyone is here. Okay. All right, let's try. Okay, so let me close this one. Let's move this here. Okay. I just want one student to read this question, please. Yeah, like everyone is here. Please change that courtesy's mom real name, please. Sign in with the
Kiana
real.
Warner. I thought I changed it the last time. You want me to read the question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The blank must be loaded before any other software during the computer's startup or boot process. The blank is the software that allows other applications to run. Select your answer, then click done.
Uh,
I'm about to change my name as well on here.
please, okay, do. Okay, so what you think the blank must be loaded before any other software? Is that the application software or input process, output process, or operating system? Any answer, please? Kiana, what you think?
I'm going to say the input process. No, operating system.
Operating systems. Yes, I think that is the right one. Does it ask? Select your answer, then click. Okay, done. Yes, that's right. Okay, next. Blank is the ability to run multiple programs at the same time. Select your answer, then click done. Ability to run multiple programs.
Multitasking.
Yes, multitasking. That's right. Good. Okay, let's continue. I think next is select three of the most popular server. I think this is a server operating system. So let's go back to exit from here and then, yeah, this is in the next one. So let me just go, exit this one and then let's talk about this next topic, server operating systems. Yes. And then we do the question. Server operating system. The operating systems for the desktop, laptop, and the mobile device are generally intended for a single user at any given time. Because of this, they are all not well suited to be installed on powerful servers. So, which manages a variety of functions and resources for many organizations today. So, server operating systems are different, and then the desktop operating systems, and then you have mobile operating systems. So, that is the reason why, I mean, like some of the uh, operations you can do it on the desktop and some of the operations you cannot do it on the mobile, so unless they update that one. Server operating systems must have the capability to handle the connections and requests of large numbers of users at the same time. They must also be very stable as they manage many critical aspects of organizations such as banks, universities, and airlines. You may not have worked directly with the following operating systems, but you have definitely used the resources they support, because some students use a MacBook, some students use Windows. So there is a Unix is the operating system, Linux is the operating system, then Windows Server. So Unix, which dates of 1969, runs many of the world's most popular servers. Although Unix may not be easy to use or configure as Windows, for example, it is very powerful and extremely stable. Since its development, Unix has been operated by a command line interface, and then the different languages, Fortran. Although several graphical user interface can now be added to Unix, many of the system's administrators prefer to use it by typing quick commands. Today, we will find many variants of Unix, with Oracle Solaris being one of the most popular. Linux is also an operating system which is open source. Unix like operating system that was created by Linux Torvald in 1991, and then it's open source. And Windows now, although Microsoft has been the multi making operating system since the early 1980s, it was not until the mid to late 1990 the server product gained a significant uh, popularity. Okay, so now I think we can answer that question. Yes, now select three of the most popular server operating systems. Mac operating system, Unix, Linux, Excel, or Microsoft Windows. Yeah, anyone? Hmm. Okay. Select three.
Microsoft Windows, Linux, and Unix.
Microsoft Windows, Unix, and Linux. Okay, good. I think that should be the done. Where is my done? I think why is this coming up here? Okay, click done. I think the done. My done is hiding here somewhere. So let me move this to here. Okay, done is here. Yes, that's right. Good. Right. Next, select four of the most popular desktop operating systems. So those were the server and then the desktop operating systems. I think they're just asking each question from the skills. Okay. If I exit this one, then yes, desktop operating system. So the operating systems used to desktop and laptop computers are likely the ones you know best. Although the Windows and the Mac operating systems are the dominant for these types of computers, we will explore a few other that are starting to get noticed. Microsoft Windows and Mac operating system, desktop Linux, and then the Chrome operating system, and I think there is a Edge also from that is from Windows, Microsoft. It used to be like an Internet Explorer long time ago, and that Internet Explorer became the Edge. So Microsoft Windows is a Microsoft operating systems for personal computers. It has the largest market share of any competitor, with one version or the another appearing on roughly 90% of the world's personal computers. Uh, Hundreds of the personal computers manufacturers sell Windows based computers. In addition, anyone can build a desktop computer using the same parts as those found in popular brands of PCs. As long as you install Windows on your machine, it will be compatible with any other PC. But the only it's not. You have to make some changes to run it on a MacBook. Windows has undergone dramatic transformation since its introduction in the mid 1980s. The latest version is Windows 10. I mean, now it is Windows 11 now, which can be found on the desktop and the laptops as well as the Microsoft Surface tablets. It can run mobile style apps and traditional Windows software on the familiar desktops. The start menu has been expanded and improved with a new live tiles that can display real time information such as the current weather, news, and social media updates. An intelligent assistant, Cortana, has been added to offer you a variety of services, from giving you reminders to helping you find the information on your computer and on the internet. Next comes is the Mac operating system is used for computers sold by Apple. And the Apple phone and the Apple Mac refers to the Macintosh brand name computers introduced by Apple in 1984. At the time, Apple's GUI application, that is graphical user interface, was revolutionary. Mac were quickly adopted by many schools and individuals in the graphics, music, and design industries. However, the most business never switched to Mac, opting to keep their IBM PCs this long, with Apple's reluctance to allow any other manufacturer to build Mac compatible. So only it was the Mac manufacturer was there, whereas the other operating systems everyone was doing. So that's why it's more popular than. It's not that popular than Windows. Stability, because Mac computer seems to be more stable and suffer from fewer issues than PCs. Like, for example, even the Windows, we have to have that virus scanner, those things, but the Mac has less issues with it. So this part is due to the programming that lies at the heart of Mac. Another reason has to do with Apple being in control of both hardware and software powering their computers. This is in contrast with Windows, which can end up on hundreds of different systems, including one that is individual built on themselves. So fewer viruses, that's what I was saying. And included software, that's the Mac, and then unified ecosystem. Apple manufacturers popular smartphone, tablet, and the laptop. If you own at least two of these devices, you can experience unified ecosystem. I mean, if you're doing something on your iPad and then the same thing, you can do it on Apple phone. You device work well with each other, and all of your data is seamlessly synchronized to the cloud. And support, many users argue that Apple customer service is second to none. One of the reasons for this claim is that you can simply walk into the Apple store and get help from the various experts that work at the Genius Bar. And it runs Windows also. Some students, for example, there was an experience with the when you work with Microsoft apps, Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Access. Microsoft Excel works well, but Access you have to have Windows. So you can, some students will convert Mac into Windows and they run Access also. All right. So now let's answer this question. I think next topic is here is about mobile operating system, because we just do mobile app. So for server operating systems, desktop operating systems, now mobile operating systems. So mobile operating systems, various operating systems are made solely to operate tablets and smartphones. Most of these features revolve around the need of the mobile users. That's iOS, Android, yes, iOS and iOS operating system powers the Apple iPhone and iPad. It is considered to be very friendly and stable operating system, largely due to the Apple's tight control of the hardware and the software ecosystems. Apple practically set the standards for the user-friendly interface with depth of iPhone in 2007. And Android is like Linux. Android is an open source operating system, although the Google owns Android and manages the Google Play Store for apps. It allows any manufacturer to use and modify this operating system for its devices. Okay, I mean widgets. So one feature pointed by the Android is the ability to add widgets which are much larger than the icons provided automatically to update the information without the need to an open app. Okay, now let's try. I think these three is done, and then utilities. So before we move on to utilities, let's answer some questions here. Think there was one question here. Let's go back to try this. Go to previous one. Yes, and then answer this question. Select four. Select four the most popular desktop operating systems. Desktop operating systems. One is the desktop. Come on, okay, well, one is the desktop. What's the other one? Come on. Yeah, after this one, we're going to move on to security. What's the next one, please? We have to select four. Mary? Mary, you there? Actually, I mean, you're supposed to, in the online classes, everyone is supposed to open their cameras and yes, what's the second one, please? Jacqueline or Journey? Any Mary can answer. You there?
It would be all of them except for the Makos victims. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Mac OS?
Yeah.
Okay, so none two. And then what it says, select four.
No, I said all of them except for that one.
Oh, okay. So just unclick this one, this, and this. Okay, so that's the, let's see. No, select four correct answers. It didn't go through that way.
Oh, then it would be without the Unix.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, why? What's the reason? Unix is the server operating system. They are asking about the desktop operating system. So that's the reason. Okay. All right. Next question is about in 1984, Apple came out with Mac, a PC that featured a revolutionary blank that changed the way people interacted with computers. Is it keyboard, monitor, disk drive, or GUI application, that is graphical user interface? Okay. Select one. Sellers, sellers, you there? Leteria, sellers.
I think it's D.
D, GUI application. That's right. That's a graphical user interface. Right. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Next, select the operating system that require an internet connection to run its software application. Select the yeah. This is question is coming from the desktop operating system. So select the operating system that requires the internet connection to run. Is it Chrome OS, Mac OS, desktop, Linux, or Microsoft Windows? Yeah, just participate. I mean, it's okay if it's not correct. That's fine, no problem. We learn. But if you don't participate, no. So
It would be A.
Chrome operating system, correct. Very good. Chrome. That's right. All right. So mobile operating system made solely for tablets and smartphones. Blank operating systems support mobile apps which are generally fast, touch friendly, and require little storage space. Select your answer, then click done. Melissa, are you there? Melissa, what do you think the answer here is? Desktop, server, or Windows? No, it can be desktop because asking about tablets and smartphones, so that should be mobile. All right. So with that, I hope about the utilities, and I think if you read that utilities, you all can do. So I'm going to move on to security now, and there was a question about one of the student is asking me about uh, the number. If it's an exam, if it's an exam, just a minute. वालेकुम सलाम मुझे भाई मैं एक आधे घंटे में कॉल करता हूँ क्लास में हूँ हाँ एक आधे घंटे में कॉल बैक करता हूँ ओके all right yeah so about that exam yes there will not be many attempts for the exams there will be only one attempt but I as per the instructions you have a chance to answer like more than one time. So that, for example, one question, if you answered it incorrectly, they're going to give you another chance. So that way you can get a good score on the exams also. But there are many options for the lesson practice. So that to make the difference between an exam and the lesson. So there will not be more than one attempt for the exams, please. Okay, so now exit this one and then we move on to the third, that is, let's go to, yeah, from here, let's go to next lesson, exit the box, okay, and then we come back, okay. Yes, we taken these lessons and then okay, okay, assignments. I think we can. Internet systems security. Okay, just we moving on to security now, and there are not too many security. Okay, and then the sim student. Okay, so in the security there are only here also there are 6 lessons are there that are I'm sharing it right yes okay basic security concept safeguarding hardware safeguarding data hacking and types of cyber attacks malware and hacking countermeasures so let's do first 2 today and then I'm going to leave you all we can continue that okay basic security concepts. Any discussion of the computer security is likely to use terms such as threat, risk, and countermeasures. So this section will explore many of these terms and how they affect the security of various systems. Threats and vulnerabilities, that is the entire purpose of computer security is to eliminate or protect against threat. A threat is and nowadays there is a lot of demand for cyber security okay and that's what this is the first foundational course in the cyber security area a threat is anything that can cause harm in the context of computer security threats can be as varied as burglar or a computer virus an earthquake or a simple user error. By itself, a threat is not harmful unless it exploits an existing vulnerabilities. A vulnerability is a weakness that has not been protected against threat. And understanding threat, we gauge a danger of a threat by a combination of factors, the probability of a threat, the degree of the vulnerabilities, the penalty or the injury that may occur if the threat succeeds in causing the harm. The computer system face many threats nowadays. And here the safeguard of the data is very important, and the risk management. So when protecting your computer system, it pays to think in the broadest possible term about the type of harm that could affect you. This allows you to better assess the risk. So that's what we do, a practical and accurate risk assessment, countermeasures for any threat. There is some action or plan you can employ to guard yourself against the risk. Any step you take toward of a threat is called countermeasure. So let's answer some questions here. Right. Okay. The entire purpose of computer security is to eliminate or protect against blank. Select your answer, then click done. The entire purpose of computer security is against what? Let me check with the attendance. So over here. Okay. So if I look at here. Okay, Mary is here. 11:26:25. Both the Marys are here. Kiana Warner is here. Salas is here. Gomez and one, two, three, four, and Melissa is here. Melissa was here yesterday. Melissa, were you here yesterday? Melissa, are you there? All right, it is 12:35. Okay, we're just going to answer this question and then, okay, thread. Okay, next. Select the item that protect equipment against large power spikes or surge that may infrequently occur. When you are finished, then click done. Is it a compressed air, UPS, or surge protector, or lock?
Surge protector.
Surge protector. And is that they're asking you to answer only one? A power. Okay, let's see. Yes, you're right. Good. Okay, so that way I hope about the viruses. So there are different types of viruses. When you click on here, safeguarding the data, malware, and the virus. A virus is a type of malware that is attached to a host file and has the ability to replicate or copy itself. And worm is a type of malware that self-replicate and spreads through the computers and networks. Unlike a virus, a worm is a fully contained program that is not attached to a host file. So furthermore, a worm does not require that the user take an action. And Trojan horse is a program that disguises itself as an interesting, useful, or desirable program, but it's not. And to gain your access to the system, there is a spyware. So let's answer this one, and then I'll let you And remember to submit your APA project and also your midpoint exam, please. There are 50 questions. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and then mark your attendance. Stop sharing.
Mr. Moore,
Yes, sir.
did you grade the project yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm good. But there are many students that have to submit. Did you submitted it
I
already?
submitted mine, but I had wrote you like a inbox. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Let me see. Yeah, that okay. Let me minimize this and look at okay. Module. He was saying something. The student. Okay, APA paper. 0 of 7 submissions. Okay, 7 students submitted. All right. Okay, I'm going to grade it. All right. Yes, I see. Wishing. So Mary did, and let's see who else. I'm going to grade it today. Okay, I'm going to look at it and grade it today. And next is both the Marys did. I'm going to look at there. And then Daniel Bridges did. Okay, Gomez did. Melissa did. Juwan Johnson, Lindsay, Trey Morgan. I see. Is there a gap between social media? Okay, so I'm going to look at it. Okay. Next is who else did? Jennifer did. Sailors did. Kiana Warners did. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Those who did not, still there is a time you can submit it, please. All right. Okay. So good. Now go back and then look for the attendance. Is here. This is the only one I asked them to take him off, but they did not. Okay. Gomez, Sellers, Kiana. Okay. Mhm. Morgan is here. All right. Okay. And then. All right. It's more than 30, 42. Okay. All right. You can just. Let me log out. Okay. 7. All right. Okay. Have a nice Thanksgiving break. And tomorrow there is no class. So please work on your security, internet, application software, system software, and security. Work on those exams also. Okay. All right. And I'm going to grade your APA style by the next class. And in the next class, we're going to talk. There are only not too many topics in the week 4. It's just a Windows and the PowerPoint. Only 2 are there. So in week 4 is so this week you have a lot of assignments. All right. Okay. Let me just log out if no questions. And is there any question? All right. Okay. End the meeting.